Up to the time again. Listen up, Wagwan people. Long time no see. Welcome back to this place, my space. How we always say it. Glad you're spending some time with me. I mean, we're gonna say some things and talk about some things you might not necessarily agree with what I'm saying, but thanks for watching nonetheless. You know what I mean? If you agree, say something in the comments. If you don't agree, say something equal. You know what I mean? More some feedback. More for know what got your foot, got you on the brain. More for know what I think about. So alright, so look we talk about something we are making the rounds, you know what I mean, all through the news and everywhere, and it seems to be dividing people along certain lines. You know what I mean? And it happens to be Spice's Ono school tour, which was cancelled because a lot of people are saying that she's not really qualified for really bring them type of message to the people. So we're gonna take a look into it and see if we can make some sense of the whole thing. Now, you have this apostle Jeffrey Shuttlesworth, who actually, you know, if you lack of a better term, lead the charge in the whole thing, cause it seemed like him the first person who pointed out and said, "Nah, this can't work," and he might face a whole heap of backlash for what him say spark this whole bonfire and it a burn out of control, cause a lot of people who happens to like Spice and her music, they must say one thing, and other people on the other side who don't like Spice and her music, I say the next thing. And it's a whole madness way of going because nobody can find nobody don't really want to come to find a common ground and try to make some sense of the whole thing. So I'm gonna play the clip from Mr. Jeffrey Shuttlesworth where him there talk about Spice and the whole tour. So make we have a listen, make we have a watch, and we see if we can make sense of this whole thing. All right.
I mean, laugh at me if you think because I apparently I'm asleep. I must be asleep. I'm pinching myself. Is this a joke or is this serious? Because if it is serious, if this is official, I am the first, and I'm no public. I know that to go public, and I will take it further too. Not just by decrying it and denouncing it and repudiating it and rejecting it, but I'll go further and do other things, which, of course, I won't say just yet.
So there we have it. Mr. Man is saying that he might go do something. I'm not say where am I go do or whatever the case might be, but hopefully nothing too nothing too drastic. So make we kind of see if we can look into the whole situation and see if we can make sense of it. Now you have um Grace Hamilton, which is Spice's actual government name, and the problem I think comes in where everybody is looking at Spice and not Grace, which is kind of hard for different if tell the difference between, you know what I mean, if you separate the two, not even tell the difference, but to separate the two. Now, if you look at Grace Hamilton, she's a mother, you know what I mean. She been through a lot, fight her way up from the bottom, get to the point where she's right now, international star. She's touring, and she do some what you call it now, some philanthropic work where she actually give back to the communities and all them kind of thing. And if you say that she's not qualified for carry that kind of message, for talk to the kids about them type of behavior and other things, Grace Hamilton is qualified. I would say, in my opinion, she is qualified because she's been through a lot, and you know what I mean, and she's at the point in her life right now where I think that she wants to you know what I mean, to give back, to encourage people, and to say, okay, listen, talk to the kids, and I say, well, listen, you know what I mean, what's happening now is not what you should do. But on the flip side, you have Spice, which is her onstage persona. And if you look at Spice and know the type of music that she does, not to say that she hasn't done any any what you call it, less provocative songs, but most of her catalog, I think, I mean, I may be wrong on this, somebody correct me, is more of the on the raunchy side. And if you look at Spice, I would say Spice is not qualified to go into a school and talk to kids about morality because of the type of songs where she put out. But you see, the difference is they can't really separate Spice from Grace because they're more or less one and the same. Now, if you're going to a school and she's going to do any kind of speech, even though they might introduce her as Grace Hamilton, which I don't know what the introduction was like when she go on stage, if they introduce her as Grace Hamilton or as Spice, you know what I mean? And when she go on stage and start talking to those children, they're not gonna see Grace Hamilton talking to them. They're gonna see Spice, right? And a lot of people some of those children might say, I want to aspire to be like her. Some might want to be like Grace, and some might want to be like Spice. You get what I'm saying? So it's kind of tricky if you want to try to navigate this whole thing, because you want to separate the two, but you just cannot. Now, if you look at the song that she used to promote the tour, right? I went and I actually, for context, I went and I watched the video, and even though the song have some positive connotations to it, the whole packaging, right? The whole packaging is not, it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit. If you get what I'm saying. The messaging is there, but if you actually watch the whole video, it distract it distract away from the message which I try to put out. You get what I'm saying? And some people might argue that there's a little bit of marketing behind it for the song, and it would seem that way. You know what I mean? May not be intentional, and maybe there is no marketing strategy behind the song. But if you stop and I kind of look into it, it can appear that there's some marketing behind the song. You get what I'm saying? And if you're trying to appeal to a younger mind and say, okay, listen, this is not the way to go, and then you have to present that, they might get curious, right? They're going to get curious, and they're going to go and they're going to watch the video. And when they watch the video, chances are they may not get the message because of the visuals. You get what I'm saying? So therein lies the problem. Again, where a lot of people saying that she's not qualified to do that because of the kind of music that she does. You know what I mean? But as I said before, some people cannot separate the two. You know what I mean? Very hard. So I think everybody needs to, you know what I mean, take a step back, and this is not the time for everybody to come listen and argue, say, yo, this and that, and start pointing fingers, because it sounds like when two parents argue about how to discipline a child, right? But the child is just there not being disciplined. Everybody argue. I think this is time where Spice and the Apostle and everybody else need to come together and say, okay, let's come up with some kind of way how we can get fit. You know what I mean? We can move forward on this subject. And, people need to stop get themselves caught up in the whole celebrity of the entire thing and look at the bigger picture, because a lot of people them get caught up in the celebrity of the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? And not looking at the bigger picture where it's better if everybody say, okay, listen, let's have a talk, let's have a speech, let's talk about all this thing and see if we can actually make sense of it all. And next thing is this. Everybody else at the church who should be the pinnacle of morality, they're not really doing anything about the whole situation. They're not saying anything. Well, I have no proof of the church not saying anything, right? I have no proof. I mean, if you go look on the entire body of the church, right? Look on the entire body of the church. You can't say nobody knows anything, and nobody knows do anything about that. And I mean, I try to address the situation. I'm not saying that the church is entirely innocent. it has become complacent and maybe even complicit in some of the behaviors. Because if you notice, a lot of the things that goes on outside is making themselves making its way inside the church. So I can see where people are saying yes, the church don't say anything because it's just as corrupt and just as immoral, so don't say nothing. But if you see the irony, look on the irony. The irony situation is this: some are saying the church is not saying anything. Here comes a man who said something, and everybody say, "Yo, shut up," because I be a hypocrite over there. So you get what I'm saying? So what will take place? What is supposed to happen? Get what I'm saying? Like I said before, the child needs to get discipline, but the parents are fight. You get what I say? Parents need to start out them things first and come over here so and deal with the whole situation where I go on. You understand what I'm saying? So everybody needs to take a step back and try to get to the bottom of this whole thing. Find some common ground and deal with the situation and start the whole heap of war. You get what I'm saying? Go sit down, have a talk. You know what I mean? I've seen a clip on, you know what I mean, on social media where she had a meeting with Bobsy Grange. And she had the next one too. You know, man, I understand the Bobsy Grange now. It's a Bobsy Grange. She have a good title, you know what I mean? Bring the culture together and try to, you know what I mean? She have the power to organize a whole lot of things when it comes to the kind of music where get put out there and where the kids them actually absorb. She have the power to curb a lot of that. But I don't know what she's doing. You know what I mean? And then I think we need to remove the whole, you know what I mean? You have our title and then at the end you have this road agenda. Get rid of that. You know what I mean? Take off the road agenda fight. We are deal with people. People we are deal with. You get to me I say? Gender thing, chop it off and dash it away. And I mean, and a Jamaica something that something where they are going over the sea, so the answer Trump, you might try to chop it out. The whole DI gender business, you might try to chop it out. Yeah. We are going to start from up at the top there, so cut off the gender off our name, and then gear back our talk which you had before everybody come and add on this whole gender thing to it. Alright, cool. Sorry for that look around there. So yeah, she have you know what I mean, everybody for come together have a meeting and say, okay, listen, this is not the way, this is not the way to go. Also, Spice do a video where she's where she's talking and she's actually preaching. I think it seems like she's preaching, and it seemed to me like it's a defense mechanism. You get what I'm saying? As if she's trying to say, listen, I have morals. You know what I mean? Nobody's not questioning your morals, right? You got morals. You know what I mean? Well, your morals are in question. Yeah, your morals are in question because the kind of music way. But it's not saying that you don't have morals. Get what I'm saying? It's not that you don't have morals. You do have morals. But the songs that you do would make it seem like you don't. And when you actually come and you do this whole, you know what I mean, other things seems like you're preaching, it seems like a defense mechanism. You get what I try to say? So if you don't think you need to defend yourself, just don't defend yourself. You people are gonna say things, whether you do the good, you do bad or whatever, people are gonna say things about you, and that's a general statement. It's not limited to just like Grace Hamilton alone. It's a general statement. People are gonna say things about you, whether you do good or not good. If you do a whole heap of bad, people are gonna say things regardless. You know what I mean? So you don't need to come out in defense of yourself. You should let your work speak for you. You get what I'm saying? If you really want to switch up a thing, and you know what I mean, and then make a change. Also, you know what I mean, there's an interview that she did, and I watched, you know, I watched the interview, and then yeah, some people, I guess the person do the interview, him, you know what I mean, clearly can't see him not try for, he's not really trying to get an argument going and see both sides of the story. You get what I'm saying? Him just basically I look for clicks. I may be wrong, I may be right. You know what I mean, nobody really come after me. But hey, it's my opinion. So if you agree, you agree. If you don't, you don't. That's what I got from that whole interview that I watched. I'm gonna play a snippet that I'm actually take out of it, and I'm gonna play it for you, and then we are go come back and we are going to talk about this and we are going to talk about it. All right.
I want to know if him read the book of Paul, if him read Acts. If him point to you now, Ron, I would like to talk to the apostle because guess what? I want to know if him read the book of Paul, if him read Acts, if him not read Corinthians or none of that. Because remember, I know, Saul turned in a Paul. So, and God did use him as a messenger for God to bring the Christian word. So, how him to determine who is the right messenger?
Okay. So, she used Saul as a perfect example, but in my opinion, I think she used Saul a little bit out of context, right? You might agree or you might not. You know what I mean? She was right. Saul was used to, you know what I mean? Saul became Paul and then he went and changed his whole messaging. You know what I mean? The whole story is Saul on the Damascus Road. You know what I mean? Him get, you know what I mean? Him get a, you know, a revelation say, yo, you're, you know what I mean? What you're doing is wrong. So you have to make a change. Because he was like persecuting Christians and so forth and so on. Got a revelation, and you know what I mean. I'm just paraphrasing the whole thing. You got a revelation or a vision, whichever you want to call it, and say, yo, you can't really continue doing this type of thing. You gotta change your ways. So he did change his ways and became Saul, and he went and he did, you know what I mean, and started preaching. All right, so let's look on the whole thing now. Yes, like Spice did use a very good example. Get what I'm saying? But if we stop or we think about it, when Saul got to the fork in the road, you get what I'm saying? He had two roads to take. There was he can continue being Saul and do what he's doing, or he can go down the Paul route, change his life, and then do something else, which is what he did. Now this is where I think Grace Hamilton reach a fork in a road. Maybe this is her Saul moment, right? This could be her Saul moment. You have two roads set before you. You have Grace on one hand, and you have Spice on the other hand. Spice, she's the one putting food on the table. She's the one feeding her family. She's the one who's taking care of everything. You know what I mean? She's the big star. She's a celebrity. She have notoriety. She have all of that, right? And that is the person that nobody wants talking to their children. Now you have Grace Hamilton, the mom, the person who fight her way through life and make it to the stage of where she are in life. And Grace Hamilton is the person who wants to go on stage and say, hey, listen, oh no. You get what I'm saying? Now the road before you. You can either continue to be Spice or you can be Grace. Which you are going to choose. You know what I mean? It's a very difficult choice. Being Spice means you have to go give up a lot of things or maybe minimize the stuff that you're doing, right? And then, I mean, if people see changes, you get what I'm saying? They might say, all right, listen, that should make an effort. Let her go talk. You know what I mean? Let Grace go on stage and go talk because right now, Spice is sort of in the rear view mirror and she's looking forward to being Grace going out there and do her thing. You know what I mean? If you want to effect change, you first have to make some change. You get what I'm saying? You can't really continue to be you know what I mean, to be one person, this raunchy person, and then the next minute you come over and say, okay, listen, yeah, I'm gonna talk some good. You get what I'm saying? A lot of people will not accept it. They're good, and there will be division as long as this, you know what I mean, this whole thing is gonna be, there will be some division. So we have to try if it tell the difference between the two and allow some, I don't know, maybe some leeway. I don't know. You get what I'm saying? You know what I mean? God did use Saul. This changed Paul to Saul, and Saul became a good person. Him leave everything behind him and him take a step forward and say, okay, listen, this is my new thing now. And yeah, but I think what's Grace have a choice in front of her if she want to continue to be Spice, which I don't think she is quite ready to give up as yet. And if she want to be Grace and continue to do or the good work that she's doing. I mean, expound more upon the good that she's doing as Grace Hamilton. Because as I said before, people are just caught up in the celebrity of the whole thing, and them not really split the difference between the two people, and you can't tell the difference. You can't split both people. You get what I'm saying? You can't split them because they're basically one and the same. It up to I think, in my opinion, up to Grace if she wants to make that type of choice. It's a very hard choice for the person to make. You know what I mean? So we need to stop fight the parents, you know what I mean? Everybody, the church and Grace, Spice. Stop the fighting. Talk to each other and find some common ground as to how to proceed on the whole matter. That's just me, you know what I mean? That's my take on the whole thing. You know what I mean? A lot of people are saying should get a fight, and a lot of people are pointing fingers at the church, and people are saying a whole lot of things, but he just want to take this lens and look on it from a different angle and see if anybody can actually, and see if we can make sense of the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? If you want to be changed, if you want to effect change, you yourself has to make some change. You know what I'm saying? So up to the time, up to the minute, the second again, you know, I was here and I spoke. Did you listen? I have no clue. But in any event, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for listening to, you know what I mean, what I have to say. You know what I mean? Go up on the channel and, as I said before, press all the necessary buttons, you know. If you want me to continue to talk to you, because me stop, you know. Up to the time, up to the second, up to the minute. One more time again. Talk soon.
If I regard wickedness in my heart, the Lord will not hear me. But certainly God has heard. He has given heed to the voice of my prayer. Blessed be God. I rose up straight to my task. Forward to the future, learning from the past.